First of all, I want to thank Jerry Clark for your hospitality. Jerry is an attorney, a very good attorney in the state of New Jersey, but Jerry has grit. He stands up for the values of our Constitution of free speech. And in the woke legal atmosphere of New Jersey, Jerry has given me the chance to voice my opinion and take on the woke ideology that has corrupted the legal community in the state of New Jersey. And I commend you for that, Jerry. I also commend Jerry for his courage to stand by a Marine who loves our country, loves our state, Bill Spadea. I'm a leader in the SEAL community, and my first message has to be to President Trump, and this is on behalf of the SEAL community. I commend President Trump and what he's doing in the Middle East right now, and gaining $600 billion of investment for our country, our companies here in this nation. Bravo Zulu. Regarding Qatar and the Boeing, the 747 Boeing. Qatar funded the Taliban, financed the Taliban and other Islamic extremist groups. From 2001 to 2021, over 2,448 Americans were killed in Afghanistan. Qatar has American blood on their hands. That Boeing 747 will not erase that. That 747 jumbo jet will not erase the fact that Qatar financed Hamas. On October 7th of 2023, Hamas killed 43 Americans. That 747 Boeing jet will not erase that American blood. Our nation, I'm a SEAL, I think like a SEAL. Geographically, we have the best strategic location on the planet. We have two great moats, the Atlantic and the Pacific. No nation is going to invade us, but what their foreign intelligence agencies are going to do is they're going to subvert. And they're going to do that by foreign aid, and that's primary target one is our universities and colleges. Qatar is one of the greatest foreign financiers of our universities, and they've given over $2 billion in the last 4 years to influence anti-Semitic behavior in our universities. That 747 jumbo jet will not erase the chaos that Qatar is financing at our universities and college campuses. Now I want to get back to New Jersey. New Jersey has two primary viruses. One is corruption, and two is the woke ideology that's infested the leadership in the Democratic Party. Bill Spadea is going to confront that. He's had the courage to stand up to that. One of my biggest concerns about some of the other Republican nominees for the gubernatorial race is their connection to Chris Christie. I call him Christie-crat, loyalist. Chris Christie has done everything he possibly can to go against President Trump and our movement. He's basically a prostitute for MNBC, and he's done everything he can. I don't know how anybody connected to Chris Christie can lead this state and take on the woke ideology and the corruption. I'm seriously concerned, and I support President Trump 100%. Our nation was in a huge tipping point, and thank God he was elected. Now, I led hundreds of SEALs and veterans to support Pete Hegseth during his nomination, and that was at the tipping point. And once Pete got confirmed, it made it easier for his other cabinet members. Anybody associated with Governor Chris Christie has to be a question mark for President Trump. Now, one of the things I look at why do we need Bill? Why do we need Bill? Why do we need Bill's courage? A Marine who served this country, a Marine who has the courage to speak up. I'll tell you the reason why. Look at COVID. New Jersey had over 35,744 deaths. Per capita, New Jersey had more deaths than any other state in this nation. And why are some of the reasons? Number one, the CDC alerted Murphy. They said, hey, look, Do not put those senior citizens that are COVID back in those nursing homes. Guess what Murphy did? He did exactly that. He ordered that those positive senior citizens go back to those nursing homes. You know what else he did? He made it so the nursing homes couldn't test their senior citizens to see who had COVID and who didn't. Why did that cause many more deaths? Because they couldn't quarantine those senior citizens. My grandfather, Bill Brown, is a veteran. He was one of those senior citizens that died because of those decisions. Now you look at some of these political stunts, like the mayor of Newark. Where was he arguing about, hey, let's find out what happened with all these COVID deaths? No, he's doing political stunts. Well, what about Newark Airport? Where was he when you look at what happened with the air traffic control and the airport being shut down repeatedly? You want to know why that happened? Because of Democratic DII policies under Biden that basically said white American air traffic controllers were basically purged out. And that's why you had this huge discrepancy in the number of air traffic controllers. You look at some of the things that's happening with our New Jersey Transit. We're getting ready to be a huge strike. You look at these huge potholes in our highway surface infrastructure. Guess what? You don't see any Democratic gubernatorial candidates stepping up saying what's going on here. You see Bill standing up. You see Bill speaking out. You see Bill taking on the system. You look at what happened in our universities and colleges. I thoroughly believe in the values of free speech. I thoroughly believe in it. But what's happened in our college campuses is a disgrace. Rutgers receives more foreign aid from China than any other nation. They actually have a campus, a partnership with Beijing. Now, what's happening here, I have a fellow Marine veteran law student, spoke out against some of that pro-Hamas activity at Newark Law School. And you know what happened to him? They arrested him. Now, how they receive over $150 million of state aid each year. How the heck can they receive all that financial state aid when they're stepping on the free speech of Americans who served our country in a time of war? Now, look, we need someone who's going to fight the system. That's why we need Bill. We need someone who's going to stand up that's not part of the system. That's why we need Bill. What are you going to have? You have the Democratic Party that stands for corruption, Robert Menendez, etc., his own son's a congressman. You have Bill who's speaking up against it. You have the Democratic Party that wants to ruin women's sports. You have Bill who stands up against it. We need a champion. We need Bill. And you know what? President Trump told us the right thing. After they tried to kill him, what did he say? He said, fight, fight, fight. That's what we need. Bill is a fighter. That's why we need him. God bless.
Thank you.